big time news. A.J. McCarron is a free agent. All right, an unrestricted free agent, which is very important here, which means he is free to go and test the open market. He won his case versus the NFL and really the Cincinnati Bengals. And so A.J. McCarron, by the way, will still get paid from the Bengals, due interest and lost salary from the 2014 campaign. So McCarron, having won his grievance against Cincinnati, he is free to kind of test and see what kind of teams want him. So I have my rankings here of 5 teams to monitor in terms of perhaps landing A.J. McCarron to be their guy. So we'll start off with number 5, Denver Broncos. So this is probably if they lose out in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes, right? Because they're going to be all in on Kirk, and I think they actually do land Cousins to be their quarterback. I think John Elway is going to be very, very aggressive in trying to grab this guy. But let's say Cleveland throws the world at Kirk Cousins, and Cousins wants to get paid big time, and he goes ahead and joins the Browns. Then I think the Broncos could make a run at A.J. McCarron. They have the defense, the championship caliber defense. They have the offensive line that probably will get better. I think Denver will address it in the draft. And they have the run game with C.J. Anderson. I understand he could be a salary cap casualty, but perhaps Denver goes with a running back in the draft, and there's a lot of good running backs that I think will fit well in Denver's system and Bill Musgraves' offensive system there. So I think Denver is a team to monitor, not as likely as the teams I talk about coming up here, but check it in at number 5, just making my list. If they do miss out on Kirk Cousins, perhaps Denver could make a run and grab McCarron as, you know, a consolation prize, shall we say. Let's go to number 4 here, the Buffalo Bills. And I'm looking at the Brian Daboll, Alabama connection here, right? Because Daboll, of course, is the new offensive coordinator there, and A.J. McCarron coming out of Alabama to play in the NFL. Maybe there's something there. You know, it'll be interesting to see if McCarron actually sends some text to Nick Saban saying, all right, what's the deal, Brian Daboll? Should I go to him, play for Buffalo? What do you think? And the Bills are likely to part ways with Tyrod Taylor, which, of course, will leave a major void at the quarterback position. And I think McCarron would fit pretty darn well. Now, I did predict in my bold projections a couple of episodes ago that the Buffalo Bills will be signing Sam Bradford. But I think now that A.J. McCarron is an unrestricted free agent, I think there's a really good scenario where Buffalo lands A.J. He's got a good offensive line in front of him if he goes and plays for the Bills. He's got a run game with LaShawn McCoy. And look, we shall see about Buffalo there at number 4. We'll stay in the AFC East here. Check in with the New York Jets. They have a lot of money to spend, ladies and gentlemen, and perhaps they miss out on the many veteran quarterbacks that will be testing the free agent waters, i.e. Case Keenum, Sam Bradford, Kirk Cousins. Let's say they miss out on all of those guys. The Jets have the money to throw at A.J. McCarron. The only problem is I don't know if it's a tempting location for A.J. You know, you have Austin Seferian-Jenkins as a free agent. There's no clear number 1 wide receiver on the roster. I know you have Quincy Enunwa coming back from injury, but is he a clear number 1 wide receiver? You tell me, Jets fans. So it's not a majorly intriguing destination for A.J. McCarron, but if he wants to go there and get paid big time and kind of grow with the offense and understand that it's going to take some time to be successful and rack up wins, then maybe he goes to New York. So the Jets are at number 3. Number 2, very, very likely scenario here, Arizona Cardinals. Why is that? Well, number 1, they don't have a high draft pick. They can't get a Baker Mayfield, a Sam Darnold, a Josh Rosen. Number 2, they don't have as much salary cap space as other teams in the rankings here, and they probably can't go out and try to get a Kirk Cousins or Case Keenum. Although, I do have my bold predictions that they do land Case Keenum, but it's going to take a lot for them to do it, i.e. some salary cap cuts. So perhaps they don't want to go with Case Keenum. Maybe they go with a cheaper option in A.J. McCarron. And it's going to be interesting to see what the market will be for A.J. You know, a guy with not a large sample size as a starter in the NFL. But Larry Fitzgerald's coming back. You got David Johnson going to be healthy at running back. A couple of tempting options there for A.J. to go to the big toaster and play for the Arizona Cardinals. Let's go to number 1, though. The most likely destination, obviously the Cleveland Browns. They wanted him at the deadline, willing to give up a 2nd and 3rd round pick to the Bengals, but yeah, they forgot to alert the league in time and all that. We all know how that story went down. The Browns have the money. They have the draft capital, and they could bring in a couple of other free agent pieces to make this deal here for A.J. McCarron very, very tempting. So the Cleveland Browns check in at number 1 to perhaps land A.J., but they will, of course, be in the running for Kirk Cousins and many other free agents out there. They'll be in the running for everybody because they have so much money. All right, let's summarize my top 5 A.J. McCarron destinations. Number 1, the Cleveland Browns. Number 2, Arizona Cardinals. Number 3, the New York Jets. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. And wrapping up my rankings, the Denver Broncos, checking in at number 5. You have been watching the Cam Rogers Show here on Chat Sports Facebook Live. Did you join the show a little late? Don't you worry. We are looping it for you, so keep it right here on this video. If perhaps you want to get me on the go, be sure to download the podcast version on iTunes. Just search the Cam Rogers Show or chatsports.com/Cam Show, and you can download. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99. Hey, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it. I'll be back here live, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Monday.